Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. This is our fourth vlog and we're really excited to share it with you. Today we'll take you through the evolution of the hives over the summer, discuss some of the challenges we encountered like a failing hive and queen cells, and then talk about the decisions we made in the face of these challenges. As the season progressed, our two hives developed differently. The orange hive stagnated in population while the blue hive grew. In the orange hive, we began to realize that nothing was going on. Yes, the bees were taking in sugar water and building cells to store it, but there were no signs of brood. This was shot from our third or fourth inspection. You won't find any brood on this frame. And that's a bad sign because it means that no new bees are being produced. And the reasons for this are queen-related. The queen probably died early on without ever laying an egg. We think she died because we made a mistake during her initial installation, and the bees in turn did not accept her. So we acquired another queen and installed her correctly this time. Got the cork off, and now we're going here. Reason the cage's got a face. But even installing a new queen didn't help very much. You can see that a few of the cells are filled with brood, which means that the bees accepted her, but the problem is that her laying pattern is very scattered. A larva there, a larva here. This is sloppy work that will not yield net population growth in the hive. And if left in this state, the hive is doomed. The blue hive, on the other hand, was doing well. Its queen was definitely alive and laying brood in solid patterns, so we added a second super to give the growing hive more space to expand. Its bees eagerly ate all of the sugar water we provided, and everything seemed okay, but then we spotted the formation of queen cells. Queen cells are chambers for baby queens, and bees build queen cells for three reasons. The first reason is to swarm. This means that the hive will split with one half leaving with the original queen to find a new home, while the new queen stays with the remaining half inside of the original hive. The second reason is supersedure. This means that the bees are replacing their current queen, which is probably failing, with a new one. And the third reason is for emergency. If the queen unexpectedly dies or disappears, the bees will raise a new one. We ruled out swarming because bees build swarm cells at the bottom of frames, but when they build queen cells in the center of the frame, however, they are either superseding a failing queen or making an emergency queen. It's unclear to us which scenario was playing out, but since the original queen seemed to be laying pretty well, we don't see a reason why the bees would replace her. So we don't think these were supersedure cells. Instead, we think these were emergency cells. We think the original queen probably died, and the hive was reacting to her death by raising a new one. So we had two possible reactions to this. We could either get a new queen, or let the bees raise their own one. We err on the side of natural process, so we allowed the bees to raise their own queen. And the results of letting nature run its course were pretty amazing. The naturally raised queen laid beautifully. I mean, look at this frame. You can see how particular she is. Almost every cell on this frame is filled with brood. She's doing an incredible job. Now, back at the orange hive, things started to look worse, unfortunately. We were on our third installed queen and still got disappointing results. Brood was scattered across the frames, hive activity was sluggish, and the population was actually falling. We even tried transplanting a full brood frame from the blue hive to jumpstart the orange hive, but that didn't work. We also noticed that the orange hive was looking really dirty. There was dead bees everywhere. Bee waste was all over the hive, and the reason that's a bad sign is because bees are usually very meticulous creatures, constantly tidying up their space and ridding of waste. But in a state of chronic social crisis with no and or failing queens, their cooperative behavior breaks down, and then they'll stop cleaning up their home. So instead of babysitting a failing hive all summer, only to have it die during the fall, we combined the hives into one by taking what remained of the orange hive and stacking it on top of the blue hive. And we created a super hive. And the results of this have been incredible. Our super hive has exploded in population and, wait for it, it's now beginning to yield honey. We'll now need to get some equipment to extract the honey properly, but as first season beekeepers, we feel extremely lucky and excited. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.